Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Please board quickly and safely. Our monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the ResortLoop.com podcast. I'm your host, Bob Collar. Tim Scott couldn't make it today. He is stuck at work. But I decided that since Tim is a Disney purist at heart and has never been to Universal Studios, I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to talk about the comparison between Universal and Walt Disney World. And because, obviously there's a lot to do down in Florida. You've got so many options to spend your travel dollar. And I thought, well, the big one there, obviously, and the big comparison always has been Universal and Walt Disney World. So I've asked my lovely wife to join me on the show today because we have been down there several times and have actually stayed at the Universal Resort, the Royal Pacific. So, Patty, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. Well, I have to be here, I guess.
Well, yeah.
But it's good to be here, too.
And by the way, do you not love the palatial ResortLoop.com studios? Are these not beautiful?
It's beautiful. Every time I'm here, you've done something new with it.
Yes, more wood. We like all the oak and wood trim, and of course the pond out front.
And the fountain. The fountain's new.
The fountain's beautiful. So anyway, so we've been to Walt Disney World. We've been to Universal Studios. Let's start at real quick. Well, let's just go over the one and only resort we have stayed at, which is the Royal Pacific.
Right.
Compare that. Now we've stayed also at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Wilderness Lodge, most of the moderates, and I think all of the value except for Art of Animation. Compare the Royal Pacific to the Disney resorts.
Well, I was very pleased with the Royal Pacific. I thought it was a beautiful resort. The pool was very nice. The staff was very accommodating. I mean, I think that it reaches the level of maybe a Disney experience in that respect. It was clean. It was very nice. The staff was very accommodating. However, it doesn't have that Disney magic. And,
right.
I can't put that into words. I can't describe that because if you haven't been to Disney and stayed on a Disney property, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But I guess I didn't feel that immersion that you feel when you're staying at a Disney resort. You are really into the whole experience. I just felt like I was staying at a really nice place, a nice resort, as if I would fly to the Bahamas and stay at a nice resort.
We could have been anywhere in Florida.
Exactly.
With a pseudo-themed resort.
Right.
We could have done that easily. I agree. I think the pool is very nice. The resort, nice. I think it rates somewhere in the maybe Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge category. I would not go a full top-of-the-line Walt Disney Deluxe Resort.
I'm not even sure about that. I don't even think it's in the same league as the Wilderness Lodge or the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I would put it, you know what it reminded me a lot of is the Caribbean Beach. A little bit.
Very good.
As far as, amenities and just not the layout,
right,
because the layout's not like that. Right. I just felt like it was somewhat of a tropical themed, Hilton.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Gotcha. I agree. Now, the one convenience that you do have that I hope Disney never does is when you're staying at a Universal property, you get to line jump, I guess it would be considered.
Right.
It's their version of the Fast Pass. Now, Disney doesn't do that. Would you rather Disney do something like that, where if you're staying on property, you get that benefit, or do you like the Fast Pass system the way it is, where anybody who has a ticket to get into Walt Disney World can utilize that Fast Pass?
Okay.
I see the gleam in your eye.
I'm going to say I wish Disney did the same thing that Universal does with the Fast Pass. Now, I understand that's not fair. I get it. And why should somebody who's not staying on property not have that benefit? And I get it. So, my mature side of me says, yes, the Fast Passes should be open to everyone. But I wish it was just for people staying in the resorts, because I think there should be some perk to that. And you do get the extra Disney hours, or magic hours. But I think it would... I think the Fast Pass has just become another long line. So, there's some rides you stand in line for a long time waiting to get your Fast Pass. I mean, it's not all the time, but, it's turned into a little bit of a hassle because it's being utilized by everyone.
And we did find that when we went to California at Disneyland, if you remember, the Fast Pass line for the new ride, the Cars ride, was actually longer than the standby line when we first got there, because everybody ran to the Fast Pass line to get Fast Passes so they could ride it more than one time. And then you ended up having, an hour wait or a 2-hour wait for Fast Passes alone, let alone the standby. Right. So, yeah, I agree with that. And Disney's thinking about it. So, I mean, we may see that come here pretty soon.
Yeah, but then, on the other hand, I guess it's not that big of an issue. If they don't do anything with it, I couldn't care less. Either way,
think
really.
That if to be fair to the annual pass holders, to be fair to the local residents, it should be available to them as well.
Right. Definitely.
Because I mean, the local residents are a huge part of the Walt Disney World fan base, and
they keep them going in the off season.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're a vital component of all that.
So they'll have to work that out. But now it was nice. We were able to walk right over
that was very nice.
Islands of Adventure.
I like that.
And the Universal Studios. That was very cool. But then again, it was even a longer walk than if we had stayed at the beach club.
It didn't seem that way. That may have been your impression, but it didn't seem that way to me.
Really?
That it was longer.
You thought it was about the same, or a little
about
shorter?
The same, if not. I don't know. What, the comparison really didn't come up in my mind. And thinking about it right now, I don't remember it being a longer walk.
Okay. All right. So you have that benefit as well, staying. Now, Universal has the Royal Pacific, the Portofino, and the Hard Rock. So we did go take a look at those. They're very nice resorts. A lot more adult themed, I think.
Yeah.
All three of them really are much more adult themed than any of the Disney resorts. I mean, even the Grand Floridian, as adult as it is and as classy as it is, it's still got that kid feel to it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Although Bobby wouldn't agree with that.
No, our son does not like Grand Floridian.
No, he doesn't.
It's too fancy, he says.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the parks go, now, of course, Universal has the Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios themselves. What stands out that may be, in your mind, may be a better experience at the Universal theme parks than at any of the Disney theme parks?
Well, I think comparing Universal to Disney, a big factor would be the age of your kids.
Very good.
I think we got the full benefit of what Universal had to offer, because when we went, Emily was 12, Bobby was 10.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I think that was the perfect age. So there were a lot of they were both very into Harry Potter. That part of the park had just opened. So that was fantastic. I got to say, I'm a big fan of Universal. I really am. I mean, I'm a bigger fan of Disney, but I don't think that, a family that's planning a trip down there, if you have kids in that 10 and above age group, I don't think Universal is something to be ignored. I don't think that you need 3 days there like we did. I think we could have very easily done 2 days. And of course, we have done 1 day.
Right.
Done both.
And that was going to be my question. This kind of goes back to an earlier episode that you and I did together as far as the age to go to Walt Disney World. What's the best age to go to Walt Disney World? And we pretty much said any age, because even Emily was 8 months old the first time we went. Mm-hmm. Although she probably obviously doesn't remember it or couldn't verbalize whether she was enjoying herself or not, we enjoyed seeing her reaction to the characters and seeing her reaction to the colors and just everything that was there. So we enjoyed that. I don't know as you're going to get that same experience at Universal.
No, not at all, I don't think.
The only thing they really have for kids is the Dr. Seuss Landing. Mm-hmm. And over at the studios, that Curious George, Fievel, that area over there with Barney. But other than that, it's really not a kid park.
No, it's not. But you know what I would say? If you were planning a trip to Disney and you have a couple of little ones and an older child,
right,
I would say shoot over to Universal for a day. Because your older child, and the rides are a little bit more aggressive over at Universal, of course.
Very much.
So you can take your older child, 10, 11, 12, 13, let them, get that experience, and you can still have that Seuss Landing for the little ones. And, it's not a total wash for the real little kids. There's definitely something to do. But, I think the big draw for that park, are the kids that are preteen and teenager, of course. And that's how, I think they market it that way a lot. But I think, our kids, they loved it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think there is definitely an age difference with Universal parks. I think you got to have a little bit older kids. We always hear when we talk to friends and neighbors and that want to go to Walt Disney World, and they always say, well, we're going to wait till the kids are a little bit older so they can appreciate it more. That is definitely true for the Universal parks.
Right. Not true for Disney.
Not true
you
for
can take
Disney.
A child at any age to Disney and get the bang for your buck. Absolutely. Universal is definitely a wait till they're older.
Wait till they're a little bit older so that they can experience it and they'll enjoy it a little bit more. I agree. The Harry Potter is it's great. Now they're building the expansion for the Harry Potter. It's going to go over into right now. It's on Islands of Adventure. It's going to go over into the studios, but they're getting rid of some of the iconic rides at the studios. The main one being the Jaws ride. The Jaws ride is going away to make room for Harry Potter. So I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because we enjoyed the Jaws ride both at Florida and in California.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like the Jaws ride, but I'm excited about the new Harry Potter expansion. I guess I could say, if you're asking, I'm willing to give up Jaws to see what they do with the...
Now, let me ask you this, because this did come up. I remember distinctly. We were there before Harry Potter had gone in. We had been there, and I believe you had said, yeah, this isn't... I don't think I care to ever come back. Doing it once was enough.
Yeah.
Now that Harry Potter's there, you have a different opinion on it?
I do. I just think, I don't know if they have stepped it up a notch, because when we went there before, Bobby was really little. I remember he was three or four. Emily was, remember when?
Yeah, they were very young,
Very young, and I think that was part of it too, that there wasn't a whole lot for them to do at that age there.
Right.
So that was one part of that. And I think, I don't know if Universal stepped it up a notch or the kids were old enough to grasp what they were doing and to appreciate the production value of some of their attractions, because it's really done well.
Yeah.
I really think that their attractions are done well. And the performances and the shows are, and I think that when the kids are older, maybe I recognized in them more enjoyment watching the things and walking through the park, and I think that's probably it. Plus, maybe Universal has stepped it up.
Okay, so getting away from the parks, so we've kind of determined that the parks are a little bit older. They're more for the preteens, teenagers. What about? We've got to talk about Universal City Walk. Now, City Walk is Universal's version of Downtown Disney. They have all the restaurants, Bubba Gump Shrimp and all of that stuff, and the Hard Rock Cafe, and we've spent a little bit of time there. We spent a lot of time at Downtown Disney. What about the comparison between those two?
I could do without City Walk. If they totally got rid of City Walk and put just a real nice entryway there or whatever, I don't know. I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing that draws me in. I think maybe I've stopped in 2 shops.
Right.
Maybe walking
usually on the way out.
Right. Yeah, and there's nothing that draws me there. I could live without it. There's no comparison really to Downtown Disney.
Right.
I could go and spend the day at Downtown Disney. That could be just another day of our vacation. Just go to Downtown Disney. You're not just going to go to City Walk and spend the day. You're looking at me an hour. I can do City Walk in an hour.
See, now
if that.
I feel the same way, and yet a lot of the locals, they find City Walk much more appealing because there's more to do as far as nightclubs and restaurants and bars than Downtown Disney. Downtown Disney, when they got rid of Pleasure Island, it kind of took away the draw for the locals to go there. But being, again, traveling down there on a vacation, I'm going to spend more time at Downtown Disney than I would at City Walk.
Well, maybe City Walk's, we've never been there to enjoy the nightlife. I mean, we've always had the kids. We've never been there as adults,
Right.
Having dinner and a few drinks, and maybe that's a different experience.
Right.
And maybe that's the draw. Maybe there's a lot of people that enjoy that part of it, and we just haven't experienced that yet because
Right.
we have little kids. Well, not
Maybe.
so little anymore, but
And again, there's nothing, you just can't go wrong going in the World of Disney store, that massive Disney
Right.
store. I mean, that's a must do whenever we go to.
I know when I walk in there,
To
I
Disney
want to
World.
buy a toy
I know.
for myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and Disney's going to have their new, they're renovating the entire downtown Disney area. It's going to be Disney Springs, which I'm looking forward to. I think I'm very excited about that.
You know what I'm afraid of about that? A little bit afraid of is being at Disneyland and seeing their shopping area. It was more of a, I don't know if you got this impression, I felt like I was more at a high-end specialty mall or something, which is nice.
Right.
I'm not saying, I mean, believe me, I love to shop and I love going in the high-end stores, don't get me wrong, but I don't want downtown Disney to turn into, okay, everything's a designer label, all of the bright colors and the kid,
Right.
the big statues and the, I don't know,
Just another Florida mall
right.
that doesn't distinguish itself from really anything else.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
I hope they don't take more of a sophisticated look with that. A more sophisticated adult look. Maybe, I hope they don't go that route. I still
Right.
want them to keep it to
Right.
where the kids walk in there and it's like, wow, they're in this, wonderful world of Disney.
Right.
Right.
Because and again, going back to what you said at the very beginning, Walt Disney World, and we found this at Disneyland. Walt Disney World is a completely immersive experience. Disneyland was great because it's where Walt put it all together and where he walked, and that was very cool. But it's not just a completely immersive experience because it's in the middle of Anaheim. It's in the middle
Right.
of neighborhoods. Universal is, to me, it's a theme park, and it's a theme park you can go. It can be very hot because there's a lot of pavement there. Disney has
Not
made
much
it.
shade.
Yeah, Disney, their queues are so much better than the queues that Universal has. Universal, you just standing in line.
Right.
The only good queue they have is the queue for the Harry Potter ride.
And the Transformers. Oh, that was in California, though.
Yeah, but they just opened the Transformers at Universal.
Oh,
So
well, that's going to be awesome.
That'll be very cool. All
That'll
right,
be
well,
a big draw.
I think we covered quite a bit today. So I guess what would you say the final word on Universal is compared to Walt Disney?
I would say the final word is, of course, Walt Disney World is number one. I think that if you're planning a trip to Disney World, and if you have older kids in that age bracket we were talking about, 10 and above, and you're not going to be back to Florida for a long time, it would be a mistake not to visit Universal. That's what I think. I don't know that it would be my destination. I think Walt Disney World is definitely the destination, and if you want to take a day and check out Universal, that would be a good idea.
So what you're saying, for all of our UK friends and Tim, you're not spending a fortnight at Universal.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up this show, guys. Thank you very much, Patty, for joining me today and going over Universal.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Go to our website, ResortLoop.com. Please rate us on iTunes. Thank you so much for listening. And next time we'll cover something with Tim. I'm sure he'll maybe get a day off. So anyway, for ResortLoop.com, your gateway to the magic. I'm Bob Collar. See you, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Resort Loop.